Hi, my name is Marie Cooney. I'm recording live from St. Paul, and I'd like to tell a story about my Irish grandmother. She came from County Cavan, the smallest county in all of Ireland, and immigrated to the United States in the 1920s. As a matter of fact, her wedding dress was a roaring 20s flapper dress. I've been thinking about my grandmother and my grandfather a lot these days because as Irish immigrants 100 years ago, they faced much harsher times than we are facing today. I recently came back from a vacation with my mom, and I went into voluntary isolation because I'd been through two international airports. And then after my 2 weeks of voluntary isolation, the governor said that the governor of Minnesota was declaring stay at home, all non-essential people. And so my third, my fourth, my fifth week of isolation became more difficult. And I turned to my grandmother, who came from halfway across the earth, to one of her very comfort food recipes, Irish soda bread. What I didn't expect to happen is I decided to post the story about her traveling across the world to New York, to Rhode Island. I posted it on a number of different sites that I'm a member of, different groups, and the International Stagehands group, I got feedback saying, "Oh, your story reminds me of my grandmother." And I started getting feedback about grandmothers from around the world, and how my story of a grandmother who cooked with no recipe, no measuring utensils, but made this tremendous comfort food when we were much younger, resonated with a bunch of people. And then the most amazing thing happened. It was Easter weekend, which, interestingly enough, my grandparents were married on Easter weekend. We always celebrated their anniversary on Easter. We didn't celebrate it on the date of their wedding because the date wasn't what was important. It was the fact that they got married on Easter. And I've never heard of that ever happening to anyone else, but that was how it happened in the late 1920s. So on Easter weekend, my recipe and my story went viral. It crisscrossed the United States, and then it jumped over the Atlantic Ocean to Ireland and then back again. It started going around lands I didn't even know. Over 1,500 people responded to my recipe and my story. In this time of such discomfort and social distancing, lands had been crossed, hearts had been shared, stories had been spoken. 200 people wrote to me about my recipe and their response to my having shared it. It was the most amazing thing. I had people from all over the United States writing to me. I had people from Ireland writing to me. The most remarkable thing was 150 responses into the people who wrote to me. This young woman, Mary Fitzpatrick, wrote to me and she said, "Oh my God, I swear that your grandmother's recipe is the same as my grandmother's recipe. And what's even more coincidental is both our families are double cousins because of a husband, a brother and a sister marrying a sister and a brother. And what's even more remarkable is my grandmother was from Cavan Town in Cavan, Ireland." I couldn't believe it. After all this crisscrossing of stories from the other side of the earth, I had found a cousin. Unbelievable.